brighter future. All we need to do is take it.
The world of The Boys is clearly not slowing down anytime soon, because even though the main series is finally wrapped up after 5 seasons, Prime Video is already preparing the next chapter of the franchise. That next chapter is Vought Rising, and after the conclusion of The Boys Season 5, fans finally got their first official look at the upcoming prequel through a brand new trailer. The footage immediately makes it clear that this series is taking viewers far back into the history of the franchise, long before the events of the original show ever happened. At the center of the story are Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy and Aya Cash's Stormfront, although this version of Stormfront is still going by Clara Vought. The trailer spends a lot of time introducing this earlier era of soups, while also showing how the powerful corporation Vought first started becoming the giant organization fans know from The Boys. Instead of focusing on modern superheroes and celebrity culture, Vought Rising appears ready to explore the origins of everything. One of the biggest attractions of the prequel is seeing how Soldier Boy and Clara first crossed paths. Their relationship has been teased before, especially through recent revelations in The Boys Season 5, but this new series looks ready to fully explore how their connection began. At the same time, viewers will get a look at an entirely different generation of soups, many decades before Homelander and the Seven became household names. The cast includes several new characters as well. Elizabeth Posey will play Private Angel, Will Hockman will portray Torpedo, and Mason Dye returns as Bombsight. Fans recently got a brief introduction to Bombsight during The Boys Season 5, but Vought Rising will expand his role significantly. Based on everything revealed so far, Bombsight appears to be one of the major players in the overall story. The series takes place in New York during the 1950s, which gives it a very different setting compared to anything the franchise has done before. The project was first announced during San Diego Comic-Con 2024, and from the beginning, both Jensen Ackles and Aya Cash were attached not only as stars, but also as executive producers. Although Prime Video still hasn't announced an exact release date, the show is currently scheduled to arrive in 2027. Alongside Ackles and Cash, the cast also includes Ricky Staffieri, Kiki Lane, Niccolo Paccetti, Brian J. Smith, and Jordan Myrie. While The Boys Season 5 laid much of the groundwork for the prequel, Vought Rising looks determined to explore entirely new territory within the franchise. Eric Kripke developed the series and serves as executive producer alongside showrunner Paul Grelong. Something that has generated a lot of excitement among fans is the fact that discussions about a second season are already happening, even though the first season hasn't premiered yet. Kripke recently revealed that Season 1 tells a complete story with a satisfying conclusion. But at the same time, it also leaves the door open for another adventure if Prime Video decides to continue the series. According to Kripke, the first season reaches a proper ending while also introducing opportunities for a much larger world to explore afterward. He explained that the team would love to continue telling stories in that era if they got the chance. Of course, he also acknowledged that the final decision depends on the people in charge at the studio and streaming service. The possibility of multiple seasons makes sense because the timeline itself offers a huge amount of storytelling potential. There are decades of history between the events of Vought Rising and the beginning of The Boys. That leaves plenty of room for additional stories involving Vought, Soldier Boy, Clara, and a bunch of other characters who helped shape the franchise's world. For now, Vought Rising will be carrying the franchise forward on its own. Gen V officially ended after 2 seasons, leaving several character stories unresolved. Although many fans were disappointed by that outcome, Vought Rising now becomes the primary focus for the future of the universe. There is still another project called The Boys Mexico in development, but nobody knows for sure when or if it will actually move forward. Another detail that immediately stood out in the trailer involves Clara Vought herself. Even though she only appears briefly, many viewers quickly notice something very different about her. Unlike the version of Stormfront introduced in The Boys Season 2, Clara is not hiding her German accent at all. When Stormfront first appeared in the original series, she presented herself as a modern American woman with a completely different personality and way of speaking. Her accent sounded natural and American because she was deliberately hiding her true identity from the public. As the story unfolded, however, audiences learned that she was actually a Nazi who had spent decades disguising both her origins and her beliefs. That revelation completely changed how viewers looked at her character. It became obvious that her American accent was simply another part of the image she had carefully constructed over the years. She wasn't showing the world who she really was. Instead, she was playing a role designed to make her more appealing and trustworthy. Because Vought Rising takes place in the 1950s, Clara has no reason to maintain that disguise yet. She's living much closer to her original life and identity, so the trailer allows her authentic German accent to come through naturally. From what little footage has been shown, it seems likely that she will continue speaking that way throughout most of the series. At the same time, the show may also demonstrate how she eventually became so skilled at reinventing herself. It wouldn't be surprising if viewers see moments where Clara experiments with different accents, personas, and public images. That could help explain how she later managed to hide her true nature for so many years while helping shape Vaught's growing influence. The trailer also raises another major question about Clara's role in the overall story. On the surface, Vought Rising is being presented as a mystery thriller involving a murder investigation. Soldier Boy and Clara appear to be connected to that mystery in some way, but there are already signs that Clara's role may be much larger than it initially appears. The way the trailer presents her makes it seem like she could be the real mastermind operating behind the scenes. Even though details remain limited, there is a strong sense that she is pulling strings while others remain unaware of her true intentions. That idea becomes even more believable when considering everything audiences already know from The Boys. Even after her death, Stormfront's influence continued affecting several major characters and storylines. Her impact on Soldier Boy alone was significant enough that her presence could still be felt despite not physically appearing during Season 5. Viewers already know where these characters eventually end up, so Vought Rising faces an interesting challenge. Fans know Soldier Boy's story ultimately leads to his imprisonment in a Russian laboratory after Payback betrays him in 1984. They also know Clara eventually abandons the Liberty identity, disappears for years, and later resurfaces as Stormfront. Since those events are already established in franchise lore, the prequel has to carefully connect the dots without contradicting anything that came before. That's all for today, but if you want to stay updated on the latest movie news, series updates, and comic stories, make sure you're subscribed and hit that thumbs up. We'll keep bringing you fresh updates on upcoming films before they even release, so you're always ahead of the curve.